Hello and welcome back to our airport here. We have a bunch going on, and since we last played, there's a bunch of new features in the game itself. I've been playing around with it a bit, and there's a couple of new things. Nothing too big a deal, but from what I've seen, the managing of the lines is significantly better as far as the game handles it. So they actually line up in these lines as boarding still is not taking place, which was kind of an issue before. They would kind of gather outside and not line up, so that seems like it's taken care of. And overall, the flow of the game and how the game plays is much better. Especially when things get a little busier, it seems to be working better overall, which I'm pretty excited about, to be honest, because it was rather annoying to build even a medium-sized airport and then not be able to continue because the game kind of lagged out and stopped. But we do have some plans here. We still have a really small airport. There's only 3 gates, and that's not enough, and we also only have the 1 runway. A couple other new things I noticed in the game. Inside of the research area, there's an area now that you can unlock aviation ops. What that does, in inside operations, you have the transportation, which I still haven't unlocked, and then you have runways. So if you have multiple runways, you can actually set them to be arrival or departure ones, which means you can really optimize your runways to get people in or out very, very quickly, and it stops some of the traffic jams that sometimes seem to plague this game. A few other things that have changed since we last played. There's a small aircraft gate now. So we can take a look at that in size comparison to the other one. It takes up the exact same amount of space, but instead of having this little jetway thing here, there's a little cart that moves over for people to actually go out of the doors and go up the cart. You'll see that at a lot of European airports from my experience, and also some smaller airports or ones that were kind of busy with stuff where they just didn't have enough space for a regular jetway. Nothing big deal there. But we have some money to play with. We have $219,000, and we do not have a bank loan, which is fantastic. So we're going to speed the game up and get it going here. We're probably going to have to expand here because we can't really do much. We are in a very small space, and we're going to need to expand. In order to do that, we are going to need to unlock the land expansion, which is ridiculously expensive compared to every other upgrade. So Operations 2 is, I think, or Light Rail's the next most expensive at 50 grand. This is almost double the price. So we'll get that going and say goodbye to half of our money. Also, the pricing options have been updated here a little bit, depending on where you are in the game. Like starting a new game, $50 a person is a lot more in the new version of the game, but apparently some of the carryover from the previous ones keeps here. So that's nice. And it looks like this game itself, see how everybody lines up before they kind of stood in front of that queue and just caused problems? Now they're actually going through things. And then the final new thing that I noticed here was that keeping passengers happy is significantly harder now. There's a lot of stuff that they want to do, and it's kind of really hard to keep them all happy and on task and going where you want them to go. So those are a couple things I noticed. We're going to wait till our money gets up a little bit more here, and we're going to complete this taxiway over and bring it back up here, and then we're going to expand this terminal out. Our check-in area is pretty massive as far as that goes right now, so we're not too worried about that. Our security area is phenomenal. I'm really happy with security. We should be able to handle lots of people for plenty of time to come, but we should probably hire some more security guards. Let's do that now so that we can take care of any of those issues, and whatever you're doing, that needs to get dismantled. We do not need that right there. And why do we have a guy going with the golf cart out? Usually when you see the golf cart, that means that there's baggage being delivered, so we're going to need to take a look and make sure that our baggage... Oh, there it is. We never assigned baggage to this one, so it doesn't go on the carts here or the motorized stuff. It gets taken and brought around, which causes a lot of delays. The plane here still left close to on time. It was 4 minutes early, but we can make it leave a lot earlier than that. So, we have lots to do with our airport. It is nighttime, has fallen on the airport, so there's not much going on. We're going to do a little bit of construction by building some roads. The taxiways, again, are ridiculously expensive compared to almost everything else. We had a fair bit of money there, and now we're down to 56 grand because we took up most of it getting this ready to go. I may decide to hire some more workmen as well, just because I think being able to do things more quickly is better overall for what we want to do. They're also not super expensive. While they cost a lot to get initially, $15 an hour isn't too bad for guys who can build you an airport. So we'll have a little army of them getting ready to go, and I'm happy with this setup now. You can see that my passengers' satisfaction is increasing. There's little plus signs there, so that's good. And if you hover over, you can see that the kind of the setup here is that the lower the number, the worse off. So if their frustration is 98%, while that sounds like a bad thing, it's actually a good thing. It only means that 2% of the people are frustrated right now, which I would be frustrated at 3 o'clock in the morning. So it seems like the number one things are environment, and that's really our worst one. It's under 50%. So let's go in and start adding some objects under the decor area, and that should help us with that. I'm going to add some of these trees outside of all of our doors. Make sure they're nice and evenly spaced. So there should be one away from each one of those. And that looks good. And then we'll add, I don't know, let's add some decorative plants. Let's try to space them. I don't know. Let's just put them here to annoy the people trying to leave. It seems like the paths are also a lot better recently since the last update. Again, this is a game that is 100% totally in beta, so you expect some issues, and some issues do pop up, but it's really nice to see that they're really taking the time to go through and fix those problems and get them taken care of quickly and efficiently. We go back and take a look. Our environment still is terrible, so we need to do a lot more work there. Maybe it has to do with all these terrible floors. Sure. So we're going to get rid of the zones. You can do that by pressing Z if you're playing this game. And I want to really establish a security area, so I'm going to build a wall. Not a Trump wall, but just a wall to kind of help funnel some of the people who are going there in. We'll do that, and then we'll put in a door. A large sliding door, and we'll have it go there. So we have a very clear security area, a very clear exit area, and a very clear ticketing area. Once we have that established, we'll put in some floors. We have this wood color for all of this, and wow, that's popular, making lots of money an hour. Wish I made that. And then we have the security area. So let's define the security area by different color floor. I'm going to go with this dark kind of black kind of looking color because I think it'll look nice. And boom, there we go. Our deliveries hopefully will come in. They're on that truck right there. And we'll drop it off to these guys. As soon as they have something, they should be able to go and do their job. Alright, so we have that going on. We're going to redo the floors on here, but we just need to wait. And this is new as well, where you get this runway problem where they don't know what to do. And you also have a forced departure button, which wasn't there before. So a plane, you can highlight the passengers so you can see where they're at. These are in the red are all the people who just got off of the plane. You can break the deadlock, which gets it out of any problems, and then force a departure. And sometimes, depending on what you do there, you can kind of get them to go. I've had really spotty kind of luck with that. I have no idea if that actually works or not. But I'm going to go with it working because it still seems to do the trick at some points. Although not enough points to make it make me happy. Let's go through and add some tile onto the bathrooms. We want a stone, so we'll do that here, here, and in our other two bathrooms down in the actual terminal itself. So long term for this airport, I definitely want to expand this outward. And I think what I eventually want to do is build kind of 2 runways somewhere over here, and then build the terminal. Instead of going outward, I want it to go upward. And I think that's what I want to do. I'm not entirely sure because adding land is super expensive, so it might take some time to do that, but that's kind of where I want to be. If we also take a look at research, we're still working on our land expansion. We do have standby gates, which previously really didn't mean too much, but when you go into the schedule now, let's expand the schedule, make sure everything still looks good. It does, and we can still fit an afternoon flight, which I should look at. But there's also standby gates. So if, like, let's say there's these 2 planes were way delayed and this one came in, I could fill this area in as standby time, and then a plane that might be at a gate has a new gate to go to if it gets bumped out by another one. I'm going to get rid of that for right now because I don't want that to happen. But it's nice to know that it's there. So the airport is flying through. It looks like people are getting all the stuff they need rather quickly, which is a good thing. And what, I forget what floor. So floor 15 is what we have there. And if we turn off our zones, okay, that's all good. So the airport itself coming along nicely. I'm pretty happy with the progress that we have so far. I'm not exactly thrilled with this area. It's just a mess. I may move that down farther over here once we rearrange gate number A1. And let's get some flooring done over here. Let's go with, I don't know. Let's just do this, let's go with this carpet number 3. It's not super expensive and should look decent, I guess, for what we need to do. So we're going to add that on there. And add it on there, and then we have our separations all the way done, ready to go. And the airport is just flying along here. You can see security. There are 0 problems. This is probably really overdone in the security world. Like, there's way too many security guards and all that, which means I am losing a little bit of money on that, but making $250,000 a day, so I'm happy with that. And you can see again that the queues are filling up. People are waiting in the queues, and as soon as there's space, they go. Previously, like, the queue would fill up and then it would empty out, and anybody who couldn't fit waited until it emptied all the way through, which was just mind-bogglingly annoying. But that seems to be fixed now. So, we have that. It is almost the middle of the night. Our last planes are leaving, and we are going to dismantle these gates. And we're going to fix this whole area, I think, so that we can figure out what the heck we want to do. So I'm going to clear out everything that's there. Again, I think I want to clear that a little bit later, but let's get all of this rearranged, set up, so that we can go through and have this airport function totally properly. So I'm also going to clear out these queues, because we can see that they didn't quite fit all the planes that were there, and I want to make sure that we can do that. So I'm going to add on our 3, and we saw here that these are all set up the same. I'm not sure that's the best design, but for right now, that's going to be the design we go with. And I'm just going to snake that through. I might snake it through an extra couple times compared to the other ones, just to see if that makes any change. And I'm going to do that over here as well. At least for this one. This one I don't think I have the space for it, unfortunately. But once we get that in there, we'll need another staff member for our new gate, and then I can assign the gates all back so that everybody is clear and we don't have any problems when the flights for the morning come in. Alright, you're going to be assigned there, and you're assigned there and there. Okay. So our staff members are coming in. We have that done and settled. And I think this snack kiosk is going to get dismantled and maybe put over here. But before I do that, I do want to make sure that I expand this queue over here. Come on, there we go. And we'll just bring out another couple steps over. So we'll go to objects and find our info boards, which I think from this last update, the importance of these has gone down a bit, which is awesome because they seemed really important for a lot of stuff as far as making sure guests were happy. And from what I've played here, it seems like having vending machines is like the ultimate thing you can do in this game at the beginning here. I don't know why that is, but it seems like they really love their vending machines since this last update. So I'm going to give them vending machines and see if they want to spend their money in my airport. If I'm ever at an airport, I try to spend as little money as possible because it's just too expensive. Airports are just like a suckhole for stealing your money. But that's a different conversation for a different time. So let's go through and get our airport ready to go here. Look at that. It's almost like I planned it. Everything's fitting nicely. we'll go through and put in our benches and get all of that set up. And maybe another 2 there, sure. Yeah, we're moving along here. I'm happy with how this looks. I do need to put some benches over here. So let's get those established and set up. And wow, that's a big spot of benches there. Okay. So what is it? 3 across? Actually, I'm getting rid of these. I do not want that. I want to try to leave at least 2 spacing in between everything. Not because it really matters for the game from what I found, or at least from what I can see, but it just looks nicer. And what's the point of building something in one of these games if it doesn't at least look semi-realistic, I guess? So we'll bring that over, and we'll get our 3 in there. And we'll also get at least 1 set here. And another set right there. And we'll bring it down to a 2-seater right there. We're also going to grab some ATMs and get all the money flowing in the airport so that we have this thing fully functioning, ready to go. And I guess I should probably get some bins in there as well, because people in this game are beyond gross with their garbage. So we're going to get a couple of bins just to satisfy the grossness that is the customers of our airport. So I'm liking this setup a lot more. I wish, hindsight, that I didn't put that bathroom there. I always have time to change it, but I don't know. We'll see. So it's about 1:40 in the morning game time, and we have our first passengers filtering in. Fantastic. All of that's happening. Let's add some trees or bushes or something in there to make the people happier, because again, our environment is terrible as far as the game is concerned. I think it's a nice environment, but the game does not care what I think. So we'll add some bushes on here all the way down, because yeah, you need a nice bushy hallway and it'll be good to go. And maybe we'll do the same thing over here for a bit. Why not? We'll add some at the ends of all of these. Now, these things have direction on them. I'm not sure why. Planter boxes usually look the same everywhere, but we'll go with it. And this is just a mess. I'm not happy with that at all. What we might wind up doing is kind of expanding this down a little bit to add a food court or something and all that. But we can see that this area here, at least, the queues did not fill up like this one did. This queue is significantly more full. This has 89, this has 100, and this has, I don't know how many because I just left. Can we find out from status how many are on there? There's 133 on that one plane. I think that's new too, the number of passengers, and you can see how many have actually been completed on there. I'm not sure if that was in the game previously. It could have been. But we'll never know unless somebody goes back and looks at the videos and tells me that I'm wrong, because that would not be a first. I'm going to research some additional money things so that we can expand this airport, and I'm feeling good. I'm pretty happy with how this looks. Everything is organized, it's color coded. Our security area is pretty solidly large for the size airport we have now, and I think we can support a lot more people than what we have so far, so that's good. Our ticketing counters, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That looks good. What I may do, instead of these individual queues, I may break that down into having a line per kind of like a group of 3 and 3, just to kind of batch it a little better. We'll do it for half of it and just see how it works. So we'll just do it for 3 of them and see how it works, and then we'll compare with what it does. So I'm going to have that come out of the middle, go down, back around, back up here. Oh yeah, look at that line. That is a mean line. Woo. Alright, so I have that there. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but we'll see what happens with that. And our flights are bustling in. As you can see when you click on the planes now, when you highlight passengers, you can see where they're at, the flights that have, or the people have left. And why are you getting in line? Why are you all the way over there? Get in line for your plane. So they're all getting in line for their plane hopefully here, and we're good to go. And this area should clear out pretty much as all these planes board. I would like to start getting some more popular flights, especially ones that can fit more than 90 people. Like this one only has 64. And what that really means for us is that when we have that happen, we don't have as much money coming in as what we might have on a bigger plane. But we'll deal with that later because this is still a tiny little airport. We're almost at our max. We might want to consider just filling up the rest of this with our getting a couple more gates in there so that we have a fully functional area. Because we have 4 baggage claims and only 3 gates. That doesn't make sense. So we'll probably add on 2 more gates and maybe another one of these baggage depot things farther down so these trucks don't have to travel as far. Sure, that sounds good. I would also really like to expand this runway, but we need some cash to do that, which right now isn't terribly priced. $115,000 for 32 by 120. Let's see if we could actually fit a medium-sized runway, or, well, I guess we could definitely fit another runway over here if we needed to. So let's hold off on that for a sec, because I don't know what direction I want to take this terminal. If I want to make a nice long one coming out, or if I want to make it start turning up. Because if it's going to start turning up, we want to start building up this way a little bit more, as opposed to going this way. We have enough money to buy either one of those, which I'm pretty happy with. Let's buy that, sure. So we're down to $40,000, and the game definitely lags out just slightly when you make a big purchase like that. Not a big deal. But something to be aware of. You didn't do anything wrong if you're playing this, and it just kind of pauses slightly on there. And we're going to get rid of this fence, because we don't need that. And I'm not sure why there's this giant like bump up in the fence here, and then it goes back down to the road. I don't know. Whenever you buy land, it always jumps out to the edge of the road, whereas the original fences come in there. Oh, look at my army going. They're going to tear down those fences. Alright. It's so much fun to watch. I absolutely love watching those guys just tear apart stuff. Did the price of this increase? Oh, yes, it did. So that went from 115 to 140, or 154, excuse me, because we added on 40 more pixels, or 40 more blocks up there, and this one is the same price. Alright. So, night is beginning to fall on our airport. We are on day 20, which I didn't actually notice before that there's a day counter up here, which I kind of dig. That we can keep track of what's going on. So the airport is functioning, everything is running smoothly, and our satisfaction has gone up a little bit. One of the other cool things I like about this now is it shows you the transit capacity, so we can handle about 150 people an hour from the transit that's provided. That may or may not be a problem depending on what we do. If you go into reports and then go to transit capacity itself, we can see that our capacity is very low right now, so we're going to have to increase that. So upgraded buses can only be done by road building, so I guess we're going to have to take care of road building. What are we doing right now? Oh, we're doing lower interest rates because that's the adult thing to do, and then we'll go through. We don't have operations 1 yet? Really? No, we have operations. Why can't I do anything else? Oh, I need operations 2. I guess I should have done that first. Can I cancel? Nope. So, okay. You can't cancel any research once you've done it. It just kind of sits there and goes. The research stuff takes a long time in this game, so we'll just have to kind of wait and see what happens here. And in all honesty, I think what I really want to have happen is I want to get enough land so that we can buy a large runway and put it way up here, and then maybe another large runway way over here, and then just build out a nice long terminal here, one going up, and then have the, like lines for them to go through, and then dedicate one runway to planes coming in and one runway to planes going out, so we don't have any kind of bottlenecks or flights kind of crashing into each other, which they don't crash, but they override each other, and you'll get graphical kind of interferences every so often. Which, while not a big deal for an alpha game, is slightly annoying occasionally. But that's okay. So we're here at another day at the airport, day 21. Things are flying along. We have security coming in, and this just isn't going to be that interesting of an episode. I apologize vastly ahead of time here because We don't have that much money to do stuff with. I mean, we do have we don't even have a $500,000 maximum loan. We only have $100,000, which definitely limits what we're able to do. We may consider adding on another gate, but really it's going to be a repeat of this style, and we'll expand this style a little bit so we can bump it out just a tad. But there's not a whole bunch going on at this airport itself. What are you guys doing? Just chilling out in front of the line? You ever been to an airport and the people who like are the last people who have tickets to get on the plane stand in the front of the line, just don't move because they want to make sure they have their spot, but their spot hasn't been called? It drives me crazy. But this is what I'm talking about. See how there's people waiting, but they're all lining up, and this plane has not it just started boarding. There's only 5 people on board. Previously, there'd still be a big line of people here, and it would kind of be filtering through. But since this last update, the queue management and how the queues are operating have gotten much better. So they all go in here. A lot of people choose this one over those. I think that's a lot more efficient. You saw how much faster they go through, so we're going to build that over here in just a moment. We just need to get rid of some of these queues. I love that I can edit the queues in like while the game's paused and go back and kind of fine-tune things. So we'll go through and do this. I don't know. That looks terrible, so we're gonna fix that. How did I do this on the other one? So it just zigzag. Oh, I went to the left to begin or the right to begin with. Okay. So we'll do that, and then we'll zig back, and then we'll zig back, and then we'll zig back. Ooh, man. I mean, you come into this airport and you are in line. Let's fix that because that looks terrible. Right there. Maybe turn it up. Turn up. But we'll go right there. So now when you come into the airport, you have to choose one of those. We'll assign all of these to that, and we're good to go. So yeah, it's a long line if you're the only person in it, like that last lady was, but it's a lot easier to see what's going on, and I think it's going to be more efficient overall for our airport to do that. So we have $91,000. We're still bringing in about $252,000 a day, which, man, that's amazing. But we do have some expenses coming up here, and we do have all of these. So for whatever reason, interest rates take forever to figure out how to lower them. I'm not a fan of that. Usually you just go to a bank, ask for a lower interest rate, and you show that you're able to kind of pay the money back, and you're ready to go. But not in Simairport. In Simairport, you must wait for lower interest rates to be researched, to be understood, and to go out and get your money. Not sure why that is exactly, but yeah, it's what it is. All right, so our flights are, again, jockeying for position here as everything comes in. Let's start planning out where we want this to go. These are always 2, so we're going to go over 2, and we can start kind of getting the foundation hopefully set. Do we have enough money for that? Nope. I mean, $150,000 for that? Oh my gosh. Building in this game is ridiculously expensive. Not that it's bad. I think it's a good thing, because once you really fine-tune and start learning and getting all of your money set up, this game is really a lot of fun. But in the early stages, like we're still in the early stages. We're not even a month into this game as far as the days go. We're at day 21. It does take a long time to be able to afford stuff, which is nice and not nice at the same time. Although they do offer a sandbox where you do have to pay for things, but there's no penalty for going into the red, so you can spend as much money as you'd want and go through. The only thing is if you pay the sandbox, the research, you still have to do all the research. So if you want to expand your land or you want to do any of that stuff, you still have to do that. I hope that they eventually will get rid of that requirement and go through and kind of get everything set up properly so that you can really just kind of play and build stuff. So small aircraft gate says 28,000, a large one is 56, and an extra large is $100,000, which is just insane. I'm just going to keep it consistent because it would bother me if I have this little one here. Especially I don't like that it has little lines on the side, like there's grass area on the side. Not a fan of that. So we're going to keep building large aircraft gates, especially because some of the bigger planes, like a 767, cannot use the small one. They have to use this. 737s and pretty much all the planes we have right now don't care about the gate size, but later down the road some of the bigger ones will, and I want to make sure I can accommodate for those as we progress here. So we're gonna get our no. We want to get our sliding door here. Why does it take away the wall? Why does it do that? We need to get those things back in place, and we also need to find our flooring and continue it over, because nobody likes concrete floors, although most airports are some version of concrete floor, I think. But we do want to make sure that our guests are special and well treated and cared for. So we'll go in and we'll add on the other pieces of what we need. We need a gate agent desk, and we'll add 3 of those once our construction on here completes, because you're not allowed to build it otherwise. We will assign our baggage carts all the way out there. Hope that those run, and then we'll add on queues and try to recreate this general. This is nice. This here is an absolute disaster. I'm not a fan, but this area to the left of that, I'm very happy with. Even all the people come through security, they flow through it real nice. Everything looks real nice and good. So I want to make sure we kind of stay on that path. So we'll assign all of these to make sure they're all taken care of. We'll buy some new staff. Boom, boom, boom. Not sure where they went. I'm assuming they're going out here because those people probably left to go do this. I don't know. We'll find out. Hopefully those will get filled in, because I just wasted a lot of money if it doesn't work. And that comes out 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. No, no, no. Go in and do the rest of this. Okay. Look at this. This is coming together here, folks. This is we're gonna have 4 gates, rocking and rolling, getting everything set up just beautifully. I'm gonna sell this stuff or dismantle them because I want to recreate this area. I just love it. I think it looks beautiful, and we'll get everything set up and ready to go here. So let's get our bench B. Also, why does their one bench have 4 spots and then the bench B style has 3 different variations where the original bench doesn't have any variations? That's mind-boggling. And they're also the same price. This bench is clearly cold and not comfortable. This one is most definitely much more comfortable and presumably more expensive, but doesn't actually cost any more in the game. I don't understand that part. But it's not my game. I'm not the one who made it, and it's really not an important note on the game at all. But I just found it important to kind of make the question of why was that the choice and not something else. So we'll go through and get those. I have a 2-seater bench here for some reason. And then we'll go through and let's take a look. What else do we need? Oh, this whole area over here, which I might move this over to there. I think that's a good idea. And we'll see what happens. So workers are going through there. They already dismantled that. Let's go and see if we have the snack. We do. It is in stock, so it's not going to cost us any extra money to put in. And we're going to put it... Yeah, let's put it right in there. Let's do there. So it's kind of lined up in the middle of those. And then I'm going to dismantle that. Okay, we have that built, ready to go. And then I can put in the rest of the benches that we need to have, which line up with that edge. So they're going to go right in there. Now, these go 3, and because of this, I can't do that. But I am going to fix this area as well, so that we can get that set up and ready to go and mimicking all the others. So hopefully they get those in stock. There we go. And I can get the rest of this lined up and ready. So 1, 2, 2, 3, Flip them around, 2, 3, and flip them on this side. I would like this to be one thing wider so that we can get that, but I guess it's not that big of a deal. My brain's going to bother me enough that it's going to happen eventually, but for right now, not going to worry about that, and we'll go through and add on our trash cans and our very important decor, because what is a quality airport without quality decor? So we have to make sure those exist there, and we are looking good. We're cooking with gas, and I guess the extra rows of benches here make up for the spot that's missing off of that, and I might hire some extra janitors just so that we have everything rolling there. Garbage trucks are rolling. Everything looks good. The airport is looking phenomenal. And the last step I think we're going to do in this episode is to take care of scheduling some additional flights. When we open this up and take a look, we can see that we have room for an afternoon flight, and then we have this whole new gate D1 ready for use. So first off, let's look for an afternoon flight, which we have that, which is only 90 people. We'll take it, I guess. And we'll put that right in there. How far apart are we scheduling these? I think that's about right. Oh, we have another afternoon flight that we can open up as well. Cool. We have a morning and a night flight that we can now take. You are way too big. Can't take any of you. Basically, any of these ones that have zeros we can't do. They're just too big. All of those. Oh, we could take a afternoon 737 flight. Forward Air, what do you have for me? Nothing. I don't like that I can see, or I can take planes or seaplanes that I can't actually take. I'd rather those not be there. Although I guess that shows you the promise that they if you build it, they will come kind of thing. But I'd rather just not see them. Get another morning flight. No, I don't want you guys right now unless I have space, which I don't know if I will. So we're going to go through and get the last couple of airplanes on here. Oh yeah. So what do I have available now? I have one morning spot, probably one, maybe two afternoon spots, and one night spot. So let's see who is offering us some stuff here. No, I'm not taking your little, where is this? What do you have? CJR 900, 75 people. We'll see if we can do better than that. If not, we'll come back to them. They're not entirely interested in us, but that's okay. No, those are too small. That is 19 passengers. That's not a real airline. If you are taking flights of 19 passengers and you're trying to go to a real airport, you are not a real airline. Now I understand some places like Alaska have airlines that do that, but that's a different conversation. That's not one that I'm talking about here. That is 19 people. Are you for real? So we'll go in there and get that. Guess it's more like that. And then we're looking for one afternoon or two afternoon and one morning flight. Do we have any of those? All right, Juno Connect. I guess I'm gonna have to take you. I'll take one to begin with just to make sure I have the space for it, and I only have space for one, so that's what I'm going to do. And then I have two afternoon flights that I can take, but I think we're good now. Our money is up to $300 and just about $40,000. We have a brand new open gate, and we won't see really any of this gate being used until the next day rolls around. But I will see you in that next day, and we will talk about what the next plan is. I'll see you later.